How we all doing? It's been a while. I had a ridiculous work week and could not actually thrift at all. So got back to it for the weekend and came up with this. I never meant for this to turn into a Monopoly parts channel, but that's kind of just what has happened. But whatever. When life gives you lemons, you cut the lemons apart and take out the parts you want, throw out the rest. That's what we're doing. So we got a standard Monopoly and we got a Monopoly 50th anniversary Doctor Who. I paid $5 for both. Let's see what we can get out of these. So I'll start with the regular Monopoly. So this is the old school Parker Brothers Monopoly. This is the only one I typically buy. This is the more desirable one in terms of money and tokens. We shall open it up. I'm not selling it as is. I have no intention of doing so because they sit forever. Nobody wants them. But they're always valuable for parts. So if I can get them for under $3, which I got this for 2, we end up with 5 revenue streams inside. So do this without knocking everything over, that'd be great. There we go. Let's look at the board real quick. There's really no value in the board itself, and this one is totally disgusting. Awesome. It's all moldy. So that's not a good sign, unfortunately, for anything else in this box. Yeah, we'll go ahead and not touch that. Actually, now that I've opened it, it smells like a basement. Okay, so the money. Oh no, this got wet. Parts of this got wet at any rate. So we got the money. This is the old school Monopoly money. And let's put this on the floor. Sort this out. And it's not an awesome shape, but I'm looking for ones that are like disgusting. People play this game while eating snacks, and you have kids involved, and they don't necessarily have clean hands. So if you run into money that's really goopy and have like gross fingerprints on it, I just throw it away. This stuff it's been played with. It's well worn, but I don't think it's so egregious that you cannot really use it. The bill that always wears out the most are the hundreds, for whatever reason. I don't know if that's the most commonly used bill. I haven't really played this in quite a spell. Get all our money situated. So money sells for $8. It sells pretty commonly. I think people use it for things that aren't Monopoly, like gags, or you can try to do like some kind of party or something. You decorate with Monopoly money. It seems to be disproportionate sales-wise to the other pieces of the game. The white dollar bills are the ones that wear fingerprints the most. And these actually look okay. So that bill's no good, obviously. Toss it out. Alright. So that's our money. And I just have running listings for this stuff. Like, I never actually sell out of it. Or not, at least not usually. Even so, you can go back 3 months and reactivate a listing. So if I did happen to blow through like all my money, which is the one that will go, I just reactivate it. It's all the same. Monopoly money. I have a modern Monopoly money listing and a vintage Monopoly money listing. This is the vintage, so that's going to be $8. All right, properties, plants, community chest, and tokens. Hotels, houses, all this jazz. It has value, not a ton. Now, this is really not in good shape. So, kind of hard to see. It got wet. It's oxidized. The boot also oxidized. Thimbles fine. So this was in a very humid climate, I think. And everything seems to be okay other than the board is moldy. These pieces are pretty messed up. I'm not sure how to fix this, if indeed it can be fixed. I'm going to try one thing, I'll grab something, and I'll be right back. I grabbed a baby wipe. The top hat has flat surfaces, and this is the worst shape. I don't know what these are actually made out of. It could be that there's a chemical that you could put on to remove the tarnish, but I think because these, it's not silver, obviously. I think this is probably permanent pitting, and it wouldn't come off. It looks like it's just worn into the metal, not something raised on top of it. So I think that's the end of those. Fortunately, what we'll do is the hat's no good, the boot's no good, the dog's no good, horse is no good, car's no good, wheelbarrow's fine, thimble's fine, ship is fine, iron's okay. I'm going to toss those, and if I run into any other boards where I don't have enough pieces to complete the set, I hang on to those. Alright, Chance and Community chest. These don't sell. Try to see if they're all here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. If any go missing, it's always the get out of jail free cards. Again, I think people use this stuff for gags a lot of times. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So these are all here. I got a running listing of these as well. Property cards are in pretty bad shape. I'm probably just going to toss these because they don't sell and they're kind of worn out. And these are ones like, for that one, somebody was obviously eating like a snack and it got all over their hands. Now it's all over the card. We'll just pitch those out. And then hotels, houses, these will sell sometime. And again, I just have a running listing. And it doesn't even matter how many are here. Standard configuration is 12 and 32. But I have a bag of them and I just sort them out if I need to. I do happen to sell one and kind of figure out how many I got at any given time. I just toss them all in the bag. Sometimes you just get odd numbers of them. So this one has 13. Even though it says 12, a lot of times they ship with 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 25 houses. So they're missing a ton of houses. Doesn't matter. So that's our listings. I'm not going to count anything else towards the selling value because a lot of this stuff is going to sit for a long time. So I'm just going to change my listings, change my quantities, and I reevaluate on these as I go because I have a sack of them at this point, and they go pretty slow. And the tokens, it just depends on what you got. But whatever, we got a little money out of this at any rate. We'll move on to the Doctor Who. Monopoly Doctor Who. I got this specifically to part out. The box is in good shape. I just don't want to have another Monopoly around. They do move. This one in particular does move. I don't like this is open. Somebody untaped it, so that's possibly bad for me here. We'll see. People steal stuff out of these sometimes at the store. The reason I got it is the tokens actually sell for pretty significant money. So there's I believe, 6 tokens in here. Board. I'm not a Doctor Who fan, but pretty well enduring show. And this is not in sellable condition because the game board ripped in half down here. So, if it was absolutely immaculate, I'd put it on the shelf with the other games, but I'm going to end up not doing that just because it's going to sit longer if I have to talk about a defect in the listing. So I don't know anything about the show necessarily. My dad watches it, or watched it at any rate, back when I was a kid, back when this dude was in it, if you're familiar with which Time Lords or who. Yeah, so if you watch the show, I'm sure some of this makes sense. Gallifrey, cars, I don't know. There. The instructions probably won't go for anything. Alright, we got a little bit of the money, so I grabbed this because the tokens sell well and the money itself is actually different. So a lot of times with these spin-offs, the money's actually the same as the modern version, but for whatever reason, this one, the Doctor Who money is different, so that's its own listing. Now, I'll have to check price on that, but if I have all the tokens, that is worth about 13 bucks I can sell for. Let's see what we got as far as money. It's the modern color scheme, but it's at least different. It's a little smaller too, I think. Seems smaller. Alright. One of these cards is bent. We got unit is, I guess, chance or community chest. Let's see if we can sort these in some meaningful way here. The TARDIS, 10th Doctor's TARDIS. So that's gonna be like the train. Eleventh Doctor's TARDIS. Trying to see if I have all the property cards. This doesn't seem well played with, so hopefully it's all intact, although somebody opened the box, as I said, so I don't know if somebody pilfered it. You know, people that do reselling, sometimes they're not honest, and they will take advantage of somebody not paying attention, will pop open a box and take the thing out of these boxes that has the most value. Which, if you conduct yourself like that with the spots you get reselling stuff from and they close, you kind of just played yourself. Pardon my face, I dropped a house. You know, they are for-profit businesses. If they do not make profit, they will close, and then you are kind of screwed at that point, depending on your locale. I got 3 Goodwills I frequent, and if one of them closed, that's really, it's about a third of my purchasing would be gone. The hotels and houses are different than other sets as well. I don't know if there's really a brisk market for the different hotels, houses. The houses are actually the same. It's the hotels that are different. So I'll likely do these in a set. I might combine some things and figure out what's gonna be more likely to move. So we got a Sonic Driver, a bow tie, I don't know what that thing is, like broccoli, some kind of like gun, There should be 6. Oddly, I have 2 of the same. Like, what is that? A scarf? So I don't know if that's original to the set. Somebody find a set. I was going to buy another Monopoly, but it was priced me out by $1 for now. So when you're picking up board games, sometimes the thing to do is see what kind of heft you have on them. Because people that are really into, Monopoly and they play it frequently, sometimes they end up getting another set for whatever reason. Like they lost a couple of cards or something got damaged. And then they'll just kind of throw it all in one box. So you end up getting multiple games worth of parts in one box. And it was an older Monopoly. It was like a 70s version. And the box was very heavy, and I was thinking it might be several sets in one, but I was already buying 2 Monopolies. I didn't really want to dive into another one. But I keep it on mine. This has been in the store for 5 weeks. And I waited for it to go on sale because it saved me $3. So, being as I don't know what I'm going to get out of the boxes, I try to hedge my bets on stuff like this that I don't absolutely need to bring in immediately. I don't ever need Monopolies. I take them if I can get them at a reasonable price. So, once it dropped by $3, that was more in my wheelhouse. It's a risk I'm willing to take that somebody took all the good stuff out, which I think we're good. I'm just confused by why there's 2 scarves. Because if that's your playing token, how do you know which one is you? So we'll figure that out with the instructions after I get all the money situated here. The money is in good shape. So it doesn't seem like it was played with all that much. Quite a bit of it. Was kind of unceremoniously thrown into the box. All the pieces are all over the place in here. The money tray was totally empty. But it could have been juggled around the store over the last 5 weeks as well. Never really looked into Doctor Who. It's still going, I think. It never grabbed me as a kid. The costumes and stuff were so bad. Even when I was, 7 or 8, my dad watching at my grandma's house. It just looked so low budget. I guess because it was old, The old Star Trek stuff, those monsters also look terrible. Then it seemed like the whole show is monsters walking around and people kind of walking away from them and devising some way to stop them. I never got a sense of what the show was even about. I watch exceedingly little TV. I watch about 2 movies a year. And the only show I watch is The Boys and Invincible. So, once a year, once every 2 years, I'll watch like 8 episodes of a show and then I'm done. Because that's a byproduct of growing up without television, as I just never, ever developed a care for it. So when we'd visit my grandma, my dad would sit down and watch cable because it was a luxury to have television. And yet this is what he tuned into, Doctor Who. Alright. That's a good amount of money. Got a little more cards. Sort those out in a moment here when I got a little more space. So we'll look up what the money itself goes for. I suspect it will not be brisk selling, but depending on the parts market for this, these do sell as a complete board game. This is one of the ones that seems to be pretty popular. And I would have purchased it earlier if I thought it was going to be complete. It was just, I felt like it probably wouldn't be. And at $6, I just wasn't interested in taking a risk on it. You sort it out. It's another one of those odd locations. Another TARDIS. I usually like time travel stuff too. I just don't know why they're traveling through time and what they're doing. Coal Hill School. Another TARDIS. Is that one of the ones that's 2? Bring offhand. I shall consult the board. And no, we may be missing a property. So I shuffled it weird. So we gotta have. I'm guessing the school is like the electric company. The lane we'll call like the water company. The TARDISes are all the railroads. So we have those. Got those. That's a 2. Those. That's a 2. This is a 3. It might be I mixed it into this, or it might be stuck in the instructions. All the chants are here. Typically I do chance community service and all the property cards together. This is complete. Let's see if we can find our missing card here. Not there. Not there. So that's well and truly missing. Okay, well. One of our revenue sources out of this box. So we got our money. We're going to get a value on that. Houses and hotels. And I'm really wondering why I have 2 of the same one. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, let's dig into online here and figure this out. Alright, so we got the Doctor Who unit cards, which I have that. I had all of those. Somebody wants $12. We got sets of money, and I just put Monopoly Doctor Who. So I'm interested how many parts show up. So there's a different version that's villains. Somebody's selling 6 hotels for $11. And if any of these parts actually sell, that'd be fantastic. We got plenty of that. Okay, Doctor Who. So I'm missing an umbrella, but I have an extra ribbon, or whatever this is, a scarf. Huh. I don't know how you end up with 2 of the same piece. It must have been a factory defect. So what is this? Sounds like broccoli, but yeah, a lot of parts, oddly enough, are popping up. So this may be a popular thing to part out. So 213 listings, and we'll go to see what's sold out all this. Got 44. So 4, and this is why I grabbed it, the tokens. Okay, so maybe you don't get all the same ones. This says 7th, 10th, 2nd, and 4th pieces. Now, why you'd get duplicates in a box, I don't know. When they do this, typically it's you get X amount of pieces, but it's really like it's going to be the same sets. Back of the box shows the umbrella. Is definitely what I'm missing. This is the 5th Doctor's celery. I thought I was joking, but that is actually a plant. Sonic screwdriver. The recorder. Looks like a gun to me, but okay. The bow tie. The scarf, and then I have another scarf. So, I don't know. Weird. So that's all that's supposed to be in there. 12 houses, or 32 houses, 12 hotels. Standard dice. Okay. So missing. These aren't even the same parts. That's odd. Okay. So there's a few different versions of this then. This is a different set of parts for 13. These are all complete sets. So the parts aren't moving for this, but is that because people are being priced out? Because all this money is going for like $12, and that's high for Monopoly money. And just doing chunks of cards for $12, $15 for the hotels, houses. So I'm going to list this because I think this will move. I'm going to do all the tokens. I'll do all 6, even though I'm missing 1, because those did move for somebody else. So I'll do 8 on that. I'll do 8 on the money. I'll do 8 on this, and I'll do 8 on those. And we'll see what happens. I think some of it'll go. I think it's just too expensive. If somebody wanted... There are Monopoly collectors, certainly, if they just wanted all the money and weren't necessarily interested in the rest. They're not going to pay $15. You could price people out. If somebody's collecting and your money's $15, but I don't know, if there's a Mulan Monopoly for some reason, somebody's selling that money for $8, they don't desperately need this. They'll add to their collection with the thing that's the lowest possible price at that moment. So I suspect 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that'll happen. And that's not bad. Not bad for a small amount of stuff to store. Just a few listings to make. And we'll see how it goes. I'm interested to see. I've been getting more into Monopoly just because I've had to. See if any of this moves. If you like reseller content, board game content, all that jazz, like, subscribe, comment below. I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.